Hello, and welcome to my channel, where I talk about the most interesting topics in the world. Today, I'm going to tell you about BRICS, a group of 5 countries that are challenging Western dominance in global affairs. But what is BRICS, and why does it matter? Let's find out. What is BRICS? BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These are 5 emerging economies that have a combined population of over 3 billion people, or about 40% of the world's population. They also have a combined GDP of over $28 trillion, or about 27% of the world's GDP, and they have huge reserves of natural resources, such as oil, gas, coal, iron ore, gold, and diamonds. The term BRICS was coined by Jim O'Neill, a former Goldman Sachs economist, in 2001. He predicted that by 2050, these 4 countries, without South Africa, would become the dominant economic powers in the world. He was partly right because China is now the 2nd largest economy in the world after the US, and India is the 5th largest. Brazil and Russia have also grown significantly in the past 2 decades, although they have faced some challenges recently. South Africa joined the group in 2010, adding more diversity and representation to the BRICS. But BRICS is not just an economic concept. It is also a political alliance that aims to provide an alternative voice and vision to the Western-led global order. Since 2009, the BRICS leaders have been meeting annually at formal summits to discuss various issues of common interest and cooperation. They have also launched several initiatives to strengthen their ties and influence, such as the New Development Bank. NDB is a multilateral development bank that provides loans and grants for infrastructure and sustainable development projects in BRICS and other developing countries. The Contingent Reserve Arrangement, CRA, is a currency swap mechanism that provides financial support to BRICS members in case of balance of payments crisis or liquidity pressures. The BRICS Payment System, BPS, is a cross-border payment system that aims to facilitate trade and investment among BRICS countries and reduce their dependence on the US dollar. The BRICS Joint Statistical Publication, BJSP, is a compilation of key economic and social indicators of BRICS countries that aims to enhance data quality and comparability. The BRICS Basket Reserve Currency, BBRC, is a proposal to create a common currency for BRICS countries that would be backed by their foreign exchange reserves and gold holdings. These initiatives show that BRICS is not only an economic bloc, but also a political one that seeks to challenge the existing global institutions and norms that are dominated by the West. How does BRICS work? BRICS works by coordinating its policies and actions on various issues of mutual interest and benefit. For example, on trade and investment, BRICS promotes free trade agreements among its members and with other regions. It also supports the reform of the World Trade Organization, WTO, and opposes protectionism and unilateralism. On finance and development, BRICS supports the reform of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank to give more voice and representation to developing countries. It also provides alternative sources of financing for development through its institutions such as the NDB and the CRA. On security and diplomacy, BRICS advocates for the peaceful resolution of conflicts and respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all nations. It also supports multilateralism and cooperation on global issues, such as terrorism, nuclear proliferation, climate change, human rights, etc. In science and technology, BRICS fosters innovation and cooperation in fields such as biotechnology, nanotechnology, space exploration, renewable energy, etc. It also supports digital transformation and cybersecurity. BRICS works by holding regular meetings at various levels such as summits. These are annual meetings of heads of state or governments of BRICS countries. They set the agenda and direction for cooperation among BRICS members. The first summit was held in Yekaterinburg, Russia, in 2009. The latest summit was held virtually in July 2022, hosted by China. Ministerial meetings. These are meetings of ministers or senior officials of relevant sectors, such as foreign affairs, finance, trade, health, education, etc. They review the progress and implementation of cooperation projects and initiatives among BRICS members. Working groups. These are meetings of experts or officials of specific areas, such as agriculture, energy, environment, culture, etc. They propose and execute concrete actions and programs for cooperation among BRICS members. Business forums. These are meetings of business leaders and representatives of BRICS countries. They discuss and explore opportunities and challenges for trade and investment among BRICS members and with other regions. Civil society forums. These are meetings of civil society organizations and representatives of BRICS countries. They exchange views and experiences on social and development issues and provide inputs and recommendations to the BRICS leaders. What are the benefits of BRICS? BRICS offers many benefits to its members and the world at large. Some of these benefits are economic growth. BRICS contributes to global economic growth by providing a large market, a dynamic workforce, a diverse resource base, and a competitive edge in innovation. BRICS also stimulates regional and global trade and investment by creating new opportunities and partnerships. Financial stability. BRICS enhances global financial stability by providing a buffer against external shocks, a source of liquidity in times of crisis, and a voice for reforming the international financial architecture. BRICS also promotes financial inclusion and development by expanding access to finance for the poor and the marginalized. Political influence. BRICS increases its political influence in global affairs by presenting a united front on key issues, advocating for the interests of developing countries, and proposing alternative solutions to global challenges. BRICS also fosters dialogue and cooperation with other actors, such as the G7, the UN, the EU, etc. Social development. BRICS supports social development by sharing best practices, transferring technology, providing assistance, and building capacity in areas such as health, education, poverty reduction, gender equality, etc. BRICS also promotes cultural diversity and mutual understanding among its people. What are the challenges of BRICS? BRICS faces many challenges that may hinder its potential and performance. Some of these challenges are economic slowdown. BRICS has experienced a slowdown in economic growth in recent years due to various factors, such as lower commodity prices, weaker global demand, domestic structural problems, political instability, corruption scandals, etc. This has reduced the attractiveness and competitiveness of BRICS as an economic bloc. Political divergence. BRICS has different political systems, ideologies, values, and interests that sometimes clash or diverge. For example, India and China have a long-standing border dispute that has led to several military confrontations and tensions in recent years. Brazil and South Africa have closer ties with the West than with Russia and China. China has been accused of engaging in unfair trade practices, debt trap diplomacy, human rights violations, and expansionism by some of its BRICS partners. Institutional weakness. BRICS lacks a strong institutional framework that can ensure effective coordination, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of its cooperation projects and initiatives. The NDB and the CRA are still relatively new and untested institutions that face operational and governance challenges. The BPS and the BBRC are still in their conceptual stages and face technical and political hurdles. External competition. BRICS faces competition from other regional groupings such as ASEAN, EU, GCC, MERCOSUR, etc., that may have more cohesion and relevance for their respective members. BRICS also faces resistance from some Western powers that may perceive it as a threat or challenge to their interests and influence. The bottom line. BRICS is a fascinating phenomenon that reflects the changing dynamics of the world order. It is a group of 5 countries that have risen to prominence in the past 2 decades and have allied to challenge Western dominance in global affairs. However, BRICS is not a monolithic or homogeneous bloc, but a diverse and complex one that faces many challenges and limitations. The future of BRICS will depend on how it adapts to the changing global environment, how it resolves its internal contradictions, and how it interacts with other actors. Whether BRICS will succeed or fail remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, it will continue to shape and influence the world in the coming years. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more interesting topics. And don't forget to leave your comments below. What do you think about BRICS? Do you support or oppose it? Why? I would love to hear your opinions. See you next time.